Rule 1. I'm in charge.
Whatever you say, Professor.
Rule 2. I am not the professor, I'm the doctor. Rule 3. Well, I'll think up Rule 3 by the time we get back to Perryville.
I'll be completely honest and say that this is kind of the first time I've been really stumped about where to place the Doctor on my list. Because Sylvester McCoy is simultaneously very charming and very off-putting as the Doctor. Not helped, of course, by the fact that this show really was on its last legs at the time. The budget had been slashed, it was always in danger of cancellation and eventually was cancelled. BBC had clearly been sort of scared off from being as experimental as maybe it was in the 6th incarnation with Colin Baker, which you can understand why, especially when you see where he's placed in the ranking. On paper, Sylvester McCoy should be amazing. He was a slapstick actor and comedian working on stage. That should translate really well to a really fun, engaging, wacky Doctor. And yet, a lot of his doctoring seems to be very stern, very manipulative, and as I've sort of implied in the title for this section, straight up sociopathic at points. He's so manipulative and so cruel at points, not just to his enemies, but to his companions as well. And given the fact that I, really laid into the Colin Baker Doctor and the William Hartnell Doctors for their cruelty, I think it's only fair to do the same with Sylvester McCoy. Don't get me wrong, his chemistry with Ace is far superior to any chemistry that Perry and the 6th Doctor had. But he's still very nasty, especially when he essentially uses her and implies he doesn't care about her life. Even if it is him bluffing, it's still not something I feel a Doctor should do, is play with human lives. Any Doctor that seems to have a complete disregard for human life, even on the surface, is a very off-putting Doctor, in my opinion. That's just how I feel. Yes, he can be fun and zany, and it's fun to have a Scottish Doctor, and obviously we get a bunch more Scottish Doctors, but this Doctor just does not work for me. He comes off as grumpy, manipulative, sociopathic at points, and sometimes, even the more dramatic moments, the acting just isn't quite up to snuff. Sylvester McCoy is clearly more talented as a comedic and slapstick actor, and anytime he tries to go for the serious moments, it doesn't quite work. He doesn't quite hit the sort of highs of someone like Tom Baker or later David Tennant or any of the other sort of Doctors that could do the wacky and the serious together. I don't think this Doctor melded the two very well, if I'm completely honest, or really managed to carry off either. This is also a Doctor that they didn't allow to use the sonic screwdriver. Yeah, this was a difficult time for Doctor Who, and it was difficult to rank him. As it stands, I think his warmer chemistry and his more sort of fun, compelling moments and just the likability of the actor definitely raise him above William Hartnell and absolutely above Colin Baker, but he still falls into many of the shortcomings that those Doctors did and that Doc points for those Doctors. So, above Hartnell, but not quite as entertaining as John Pertwee's 3rd Doctor.